Well, so there's an argument right now that no matter your political party, the upcoming election makes you a bit uneasy. Anybody might be a bit uneasy with a likely Biden-Trump rematch imminent. However, new numbers show President Biden's supporters may be a bit more unnerved. A new Washington Post ABC News poll finds President Trump leading President Biden by 10 points as Mr. Biden's polling remains underwater on issues like the economy and the border crisis, along with concerns about his age and his mental capabilities. The Hill reporting also that some Democrats worry their party is becoming far too complacent about President Biden's chances of victory. So let's bring in human rights attorney Robert Patillo and civil and human rights attorney Robert Patillo and May Mailman, who served as White House attorney in the Trump administration. Good to see you both. I know you had conversations here on our air many a time. So let's have a very candid discussion here. Robert, Democrats, many have assumed President Trump's legal battles, which are historic and nearly 100 criminal charges against him, have rendered him unelectable. But should Democrats remember what it means to assume?
Oh, absolutely. I think that there's no place for complacency right now, and the Biden campaign has to ramp things up, making their case to the American people. Regardless of who the Republican nominee is on the other side of the aisle, they have to make sure the American people understand the accomplishments of this administration. This has been the most successful first term of a president since FDR, since the first 100 days. You can go down the list. America currently has the strongest economy on planet Earth. I dare you to find another country doing as well as we are currently. If you look at the unemployment numbers being between 3.4 and 3.8%, inflation numbers being down to 3.2%, in line with the Treasury goals that have been set out. What this administration has to do is get out there and make their case to the American people in a media sphere that is not reporting on many of the things that have been done. How many media outlets reported on President Biden's speech to the Congressional Black Caucus this weekend? How many reported on his G20 negotiations with Modi? How many reported on his meetings with the Central Asian republics? President Biden has to make this case directly to the American people. This is the same malaise we see each summer. I think President Biden will pull this out.
I have to, May, before I get to you, I have to call attention to what you're saying, Robert. The numbers are one thing, but if the general malaise, the morale of the American people is so in the toilet because of the past few years, because of a stark contrast between the unemployment numbers that you just reported on and the fact that many companies and many businesses are understaffed and unable to hire people because they are not finding qualified, dedicated, loyal employees. How can the Biden administration really brag at this point?
Well, the fact that we have more job openings than people to fill them is a problem that most countries want to have. I think that we have to look at the corporations in this country and understand the reason people are on strike is because these corporations have been gouging people for prices, suppressing wages for workers, and we finally have a pro-union president, a pro-worker president standing up for them. You can look at these numbers in 2021 over the summer. President Biden was underwater. You can look at these numbers in 2022 during the summer. President Biden was underwater, and people were predicting a red wave. What we've seen time and time again, the President Biden has been able to turn these things around by making his case directly to the American people. I think that's what we're going to see here.
I think that you make a good point about the poll numbers maybe not reflecting reality. So I'm going to ask you, May, the Washington Post even calling this poll an outlier. How much credit can we give to the data now, especially this one?
Yeah, well, polling is always fraught, and any Republican is going to be wary to trust polls. However, I think it's hard to call this an outlier, meaning maybe that this is some weird 1,000 group of people, because if you look at their poll responses, they're very much in line with what poll responses have been historically, like, do you agree with the Dobbs decision, which is the abortion decision? 64% said no. It's always been between 63 and 66%. So in general, this group of people is answering sort of how you'd expect. And I think what this proves is what Republicans have thought for a long time, which is if you make the election about Biden, then Trump wins. If you make this election about Trump, then Trump loses. So the voters in this poll were primed. How do you feel about the economy? 74% said negative. How do you feel about gas prices? 91% negative. How do you feel about food prices? 87% negative. Do you want this guy to be president? No, I don't. And so if the voters are primed, if they're thinking about, did you like 2019 versus now, the voters are thinking 2019 and they're going to vote for Trump. But if you're thinking about Trump, then I think as we've seen from 2020, that doesn't go so well for Trump.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.